Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Vishal, and I'll be covering the modern India section of our PMP course. कि भाई हिस्ट्री थोड़ा बोरिंग लगने लगता है because our approach to history is actually a misguided one. क्योंकि प्रीलिम्स के लिए पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं, therefore focus is generally on rectification of facts, names, developments, chronology, etc. However, even for prelims, our approach should be to ground all of these developments, these events, facts, names, etc. into a comprehensive narrative. कि कहानी की तरह एक फ्लो में जब आप पढ़ते हो तो देन इट बिकम्स इजियर फॉर यू टू प्रिपेयर लॉजिकल फ्रेमवर्क जहां पे आप इस इंफॉर्मेशन को असाइन कर सकते हो, फिट कर सकते हो. ठीक है. सो ओवर हियर आवर अप्रोच is going to be the same approach that I take for even our foundation courses. That is to underscore the process of historical change by bringing out the cause and effect relationship between different developments. A particular event is going to have a series of social, economic, political, and cultural causes behind it, and is going to create similarly social, economic, political, and cultural effects. For example, if we are considering the advent of European companies to the subcontinent from the 16th century onwards, so what are the important social, economic, political, and cultural factors responsible for it, and what were the effects that this development created? Focus हमारा यहाँ पे रहेगा. It is within this framework that we'll be assigning all of the relevant information. So not only are you going to prepare a factual history, but also a process-based development. ठीक है? So understanding. And let me also provide you with a brief framework ki what are the different things that we'll be discussing in our classes. I think 7 or 8 classes have been assigned, 5-hour classes within which we'll be covering the whole of modern India. So we'll be beginning with the advent of Europeans. Then we'll be taking a brief look, a glimpse at 18th century India, in which we'll be talking about two major themes: the factors responsible for the decline of the Mughal Empire, along with the rise of regional kingdoms, and the beginning of British ascendancy. Plassey, Buxar, the Carnatic Wars, etc. Okay? Following this, we'll be looking at the period of British imperialism. During the 1800s, in which we'll be talking about their political, economic, social, cultural, and ideological policies ऑफ colonialism. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हम उनकी फॉर एग्जांपल रेवेन्यू पॉलिसी एटसेट्रा ये सब कवर करेंगे, द डिफरेंट एक्ट्स इंट्रोड्यूस्ड बाय देम, द डिफरेंट अप्रोच व्हेन इट केम टू हाउ द ब्रिटिश क्राउन वाज टू बी पोजीशनड अगेंस्ट द इंडियन सब्जेक्ट पॉपुलेशन, तो चेंजिंग नैरेटिव, चेंजिंग पोजीशन, उसको देखेंगे. एंड with the evolution of the British Empire, the colonial policies towards India are also going to keep on shifting. So we'll get a good understanding of this. Then will be the time for the Indian response to colonialism. Firstly, in the form of peasant and tribal uprisings. इस सिलसिले का ग्रैंड फिनाले होगा द ग्रेट रिवोल्ट of 1857. Then a more modernist response to colonial rule, beginning with the socio-religious reforms of the 19th century, which created the social and cultural foundations for the emergence of Indian nationalism, which also evolved in several phases. That is the moderate nationalism, extremist nationalism, revolutionary nationalism, Gandhian nationalism, socialist nationalism, and communal nationalism, which ultimately led India towards freedom and partition. Now, while studying the national movement, we will be focusing not only on the mainstream movement, but the sub-streams of nationalism under the umbrella of mainstream movement. So, we'll be also looking at the movements that were emerging when it comes to nationalism among women, or movements associated with the depressed classes, etc. So, how the national movement got its final identity as a polyphonic movement in which there was no single dominant voice, but multiple voices were creating a symphony, right? And that is what gives India its modern identity. So that is going to be our focus over here. And once again, in all these things, our idea is going to be to address historical change. Now, the way in which I have divided the notes is topic wise. So you will not be get one new note for every lecture. Rather, एक theme के लिए you will get a larger note. And if you go through the notes, you will find that at the end of every note, there is also going to be a set of DYQs and certain practice questions. So on average, roughly 30 to 40 questions for everything we are going to discuss in class. Following this, we have all the tests that Santosh sir was talking about. All right. Now, are there any doubts with regarding to what I have told you? तो प्लीज आस्क मी. तो कोई डाउट्स है तो प्लीज पूछ लीजिए. क्या? हाँ, तो वही है ना कि when we are talking about the colonial policies, we are going to talk about their political, administrative, economic, social, cultural, and ideological policies. It is going to be in the context of this discussion that we'll be talking about all the pieces of legislation introduced by the British in India, whether it is the Regulating Act or the Charter Act subsequently, or the Indian Councils Act, Government of India Act, etc., Independence of India Act. तो सब कुछ हम इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ही डिस्कस करेंगे. ठीक है. और we'll be discussing that in the context of in the response that colonialism had to Indian nationalism. That Indian nationalism was creating a lot of pressure for on the British to reform their administrative policies, cultural policies, economic policies. So it was partly in response to this that the British were forced to bring about certain reforms, constitutional reforms, etc. So either in the context of what the British were doing to us, or in the context of what we were doing to the British, we are going to be introducing all these discussions. ठीक है?